Hey guys, the next thing that we're going to study is volume and surface area of cylinders, cones, and spheres. Now, since cylinders, cones, and spheres all have circles involved with them, it's important that we develop a vocabulary with circles. So let's take some time to do that right now. If we were at school, I would have given you a circle like this, and we would define 4 different things about this circle. All right, so you would have needed a straight edge, some to write with. But here's the first one. A segment that starts at some point on the circle and ends at another point on the circle, like this, has a name. And that name is called a chord, C-H-O-R-D. Okay? That is a segment that starts at some point on the circle and ends at another point on the circle. Now, a chord that goes through the middle of the circle, so again, it starts at one end of the circle, ends up at the other end of the circle, but it also goes right through the middle of the circle. That's a chord with a special name. And that is called a diameter. That's probably something that you've heard of before. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. A segment that goes from any point on the circle and ends at the middle of the circle has a name. That name is called a radius. Again, that's another word that you've probably heard of before. And you probably remember or even notice that a radius is going to be half the diameter. The last vocabulary word is going to describe the distance around the circle. So if we took some scissors, and let's say that what you see in red right here were a rope. If I were to cut it right there and just kind of stretch it out so it looked like a segment, that distance around the circle has a name. So let me highlight it first. The distance all the way around, starting at some point and ending at the exact same point. So everything that you see in yellow right there, that distance around has a name, and it's called the circumference.